Hello, PEQDF here. I never saw a definitive video on carbon dating on YouTube. And well, if you want something done right, do it yourself, right? So here it goes. This is carbon. It is carbon because it has 6 protons, and this is also carbon 14, which has 6 protons and 9 neutrons. It also has 6 electrons to make it neutral. Carbon 14 is radioactive and therefore unstable. What happens to carbon 14 is this. One of the neutrons becomes a proton, and of course to make it neutral again, there is an electron catched. Therefore it is now a nitrogen 14 atom. Now carbon 14 has constant radioactive decay. Carbon 14 will constantly decay over time. But carbon 14 gets replenished over time in all living creatures. And because we know the ratio between stable atoms of carbon and carbon 14, that is in living things, is always the same. Now, when a creature dies, the ratio will go off because the carbon 14 doesn't get replenished. So by measuring the ratio between the stable carbon atoms and the carbon 14 atoms, we can measure how old something is. Now carbon 14 has a half-life of 5,730 years. That means if you find half the expected amount of carbon 14 in a fossil, the fossil in question is 5,730 years old. That's simple. The carbon 14 dating system is reliable up until 60,000 years, because then 99.9% of the carbon 14 has disappeared, and it becomes unreliable, and then other dating systems are in order. But this is about carbon dating, so let's leave it at that. Now, and before Christians are going to comment on this, I wanted to address the snail story. It goes like this. Supposedly a living snail was tested, and it came out to be 27,000 years old. Well, that's right. A living snail was indeed tested, and it was indeed 27,000 years old, according to carbon dating. This is, however, because those snails lived in a spring in the south of Nevada. In that spring was water which came through the earth. Now, as the water seeps through the earth, it dissolves limestone and dolomite and will have a natural high concentration of stable carbon atoms. So the snails will not get replenished with as much carbon 14 atoms as other living things will. So that's why the ratio was much lower in those snails. This is known as the reservoir effect, and scientists actually take this into account when they are dating with the carbon 14 method. No, that is carbon dating. I've put links in the sidebar. That's over there, and or over there if you're on my channel. Those are reference links. You can find the information there. And this is PEQDF out.